All right, well, welcome back to our series with homely.com.au. Today we've got Monique Holgye, who's the Senior Property Manager at Jellis Craig in Blackburn. Now, we spoke to Monique's directors a couple of weeks ago, Matt Scafidi and Troy Sheehan, about how they were going over the last couple of months, which was a great interview. And now we've got Monique here today. She's going to share a bit of her experience both in Jellis Craig and also what she's done in the past, which is build successful rent rolls. Now, you can hit the subscribe button below, which is for YouTube. And also you can follow homely.com.au on Spotify and also on iTunes. Hey, Monique, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Really well, really well. Thanks for giving us some time today. Now, you work in a pretty dynamic office there with Jellis Craig, which was formerly Noel Jones there, and a very, very large rent roll and a very dynamic team. Give us a little bit of your history and your background. I believe you also built a rent roll under the Ray White brand previously.
I did, yes. So there was an office in Ringwood that they started up for Ray White. And I was there from day dot, which was a fantastic opportunity for me to organically grow a rent roll. So obviously we didn't have a database. So that was probably the hardest thing. So you didn't have people to call. So they involved a lot of door knocking, a lot of digital presence was huge. So we had to use any social media platform or any platform that we could have to try and generate some leads, which is why my Homely Premier Showcase was fantastic for that. And yes, so I think in about 12 to 13 months, I grew the rent roll by about 115 to 120 properties.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
it was pretty decent effort, but a lot of hard work, a lot of obviously just calling people, connecting and trying to get in touch with as many people as possible.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so when did you make the change then and come start working with Troy and Matt over at Blackburn?
Yeah, so there was a fantastic opportunity as a business development manager working with Troy and Matt, and I made the switch about 2 years ago, and they've got a fantastic culture in that office. Everyone works together from sales team to property management so that we can both help each other and assist our clients as best as possible.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, let's get stuck into your digital presence. I know that one thing you've been really, really dynamic around and very, very proactive is in actually improving your Google ranking. Make sure that when you're getting invited into appraisals, you're almost unopposed a lot of times. We've seen you've got an enormous presence on our portal on homely.com.au, and you've obviously put a lot of work into that. How did that start? If you were to sort of wind the clock a little bit back, How did you sort of really get into that? And if you were... for a start, and then we might sort of talk about if someone was new coming into the industry, how would they take steps in order to build their digital presence?
Yeah, so first of all, I cannot stress how important that is. So a lot of people, when they're looking in the area, they just chuck in the Google search, property management services, Blackburn or whatever suburb that they're looking in. And by using Homely, I have built up a solid Google presence where I pop up pretty much first straight away. So obviously by popping up first, they click on you, who is this property manager? And then they get visit your site where you would use it to list your reviews from clients. And by bulking up your Homely profile, what you can do is yourself go in and write a street review, a suburb review about what you know about the suburb and the street. And that all adds to the Google presence. And by also asking your clients from people who have purchased or looking to sell in the area, and your tenants as well, you can ask them to leave reviews so that people who are looking to live in that area can jump on and see what the area is like from their perspective, which is a unique feature with Homely. So, and by doing all of that, it really bulks your profile up and therefore your Google presence.
All right, so let's just unpack that a little bit. So you're going into Homely and the areas that you work, say Ringwood, Blackburn, Mitcham, those. Yep. Okay, so those sort of areas, you're engaging on the conversations that are on homely.com.au. So do you look every week, or are you getting alerts around people who are actually putting in questions or doing suburb reviews? How does that work?
Yeah, so people can actually ask a question and it alerts you straight away and you can respond to them. And it's a really good tool to utilize to try and get listings, because people might be looking to purchase an investment and they want to know, what are the schools like? What part of that area is included in a particular school zone, which will add to the value of a property. So you're able to really show your knowledge as an agent and provide them a service before they even purchase. So that might be a future client or a future tenant for you. So you can tenant your properties really quickly.
Okay. And so you've been able to use this as a way in which to drive appraisals and actually win new business?
Yeah, definitely. So I use my showcase as a pre-listing tool. So
Okay.
I'll send it to my potential client before I go over and visit them, either via text or email. And they can have a look at all my reviews. They can have a look at properties I've listed and leased. They can see the style of marketing we use, the price I've achieved, and how many properties I've actually leased in the area. And they just get a better idea about who you are, and it builds confidence in them. So when you walk into your listing, it's a bit of a no-brainer. They know who you are, and it's given me the ability to list properties on the spot really, really well. So
Right.
I absolutely love that feature of it.
So a lot of clients know you before you know them. That's the ultimate dream, isn't it, for a salesperson? All
Yeah.
right, I'm going to have a quick look here. I'm just going to bring up the screen, and I'm going to share screen with you so we can have a quick look here. But what I've done is I've just done a quick search for property manager in Mitcham. Now, under the paid ads, which are all the ones where people are trying to get the business, you actually rank first on homely.com.au right here. So if we click direct into there, and you've got a rating of 5, so obviously very, very good at what you do, which is cool. And then that brings us into here. So this is your Premier Agent profile, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so 54 reviews, and you're a 5-star performer, which is really, really cool. And obviously, people can come through. So this is what you're presenting to your potential clients, and this is how they're finding you when they're doing their search on, say, Ringwood or Mitcham or Blackburn. They're finding out this information, reading through your reviews, and then getting in contact.
That's correct. Yes. So look, I have actually listed, I think it would be roughly around 12 properties a year that I would list through direct contact through my profile. So people will say, Monique, we've had a look at your profile. We're quite impressed. Can we make a time to meet with you? We've just invested in the area. And already straight away, they've got so much confidence because they're coming to you. You're not actually the one reaching out to them. So they already have selected you. And if they're not ready to go straight away, you can suggest that they follow you. So you can have, you can follow people as an agent yourself, and you can ask your potential clients and current clients to follow you. So they get weekly updates as to what you've achieved, what you've leased in the week, the properties you leased, how much you achieved for them. And it's automatic contact. I mean, I think that's something that's very important in the stages leading up to obtaining a listing, is just making sure that you stay in touch with your potential clients. And therefore, they're seeing all your achievements via a weekly email, which is really good.
Okay, so this map down here, this basically highlights, obviously you've got a video there that they can see reviews, and they can actually see what properties you're leasing and what you have leased. 495 properties leased in the last 36 months. So really, really nice sort of way in which to present it almost just leads you from point to point when you're sitting in front of a client, doesn't it? And helps you through the appraisal. And so this map actually then basically highlights all the areas that you've leased properties in, which is absolutely, it's a very impressive thing to show, potential clients.
It is, and it's interactive too. So you can sometimes, when you get the request to go out to a property, you could even just go in with your profile to a listing presentation straight off the bat, and it's interactive. They can just have a look at the properties that you've leased, how much you've achieved for them, and obviously you've got all your reviews there. So you're very well equipped going in with your showcase.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I love the fact that that what you've been able to do through Homely has basically given you that top ranking in Google, which is very, very significant. Tell us a bit about those suburb reviews and how much time you would devote on a weekly basis in engaging with those people who are asking questions and also helping them put reviews up about their suburbs.
I think it's extremely important, and it doesn't take long because you get notification of the question via email. You just can quickly respond via email, and it doesn't take long at all. And you can put those details straight into your database. So you might want to follow them up and ask how they've gone, a week later with their search. And look, if I do list a property in a street, I'll just quickly write a review. It doesn't take very long of, maybe 5 dot points as to the things that I've noticed about that street and my experiences with it. It's really good for investor knowledge too. So, if it's in a school zone, first thing you put in there, that's really good if someone wants to make a decision when they're investing in a property in the area.
Okay, all right. So what's some of the more obscure things that you've seen written, and obviously keep it clean, but I would imagine people want to know about the schools. They want to know about the cafes and restaurants, of course. Is it overhead, plane noise? But what are some of the strange things that people might want to know about the suburb that you and I in real estate mightn't think about every day to day?
Oh yeah, there's been sometimes some angry people might go on and write like there was a robbery or a break-in in the street, don't live here. I think that was for one of them that I had in Frankston, but there's
we can edit that out. That's okay. Yeah.
Look, there was some odd reviews about, just sometimes if there's been a noisy neighbour in the street or a cafe down the street that they haven't had a very good experience with food or something. But usually
people want to know about the area. If I'm moving to an area, what's some of the things that I might want to know about an area that I mightn't think about, that you actually might sort of spark that thought? I hadn't thought about that, or I hadn't thought about, school or school noise or traffic or whatever it might be.
Yeah, so something that's really important is future developments. So not everyone has access to that information. Yeah. So something that I usually respond to with that is, well, did you know they are going to be opening up a Coles about 100 metres away in the next year? Those sort of infrastructure changes are usually, they definitely have a lot of weight as to whether or not someone's going to make a purchase on a property as an investment or move to the area to live in. And improvements on schools. The government sometimes plan to upgrade a school. And as an agent, you always update yourself with that sort of information because it's highly important to have that knowledge behind you to assist your clients.
And it's interesting. That could be a two-way street, couldn't it? A Coles moving into the area you might see as a negative, but someone who's looking for an employer who wants to be close to shops so they can just walk if they don't have their own transport, they might actually see that as a real sort of positive thing. Really interesting. All right. So if someone's wanting to get into their building their profile, their premier agent profile on Homely, it might be someone new to the industry or a property manager who hasn't really spent a lot of time building up their digital presence. What initial steps would you say that they need to take? Firstly, just probably put your toe in the water, but what's the first couple of things you need to really sort of get active with?
Yeah, so it definitely, when I started my profile, I jumped online and just, at home at night, did a couple street reviews, couple suburb reviews. And that is actually what bulked up my Mitcham profile when I was working predominantly in that area. I did so many. And I think, that just built my Google presence. Therefore, it rolled on to the next stage. People would see me having the high ranking there and would make inquiry. And I also made sure that all the properties I had leased were updated on my profile. So Homely were able to go back in there and pop all those properties that I had leased out. And that bulked my profile up straight away, which was fantastic. Therefore, I could go straight into an appraisal and use it as a listing tool. And also making sure that after I do lease the property, I send that automatically generated email to my client, both landlord and tenant, because both services are equally as important. And they pop a review on there. And because it's easy for them, they just sit there and do it straight away. It's not as if they have to go into Google, make a Google account if they don't have one. So that's what is really, I suppose, unique about the Homely reviews. they don't need to set themselves up in that respect. They can just do it straight away.
Yeah, cool. And the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, a bit of a different time. Have you seen a lot more increase in people inquiring and looking online and engaging in those suburb reviews and contacting you?
Yeah, look, it's communication and digital presence more now than ever has been really important. Obviously, keeping in touch with everyone. As soon as you see an inquiry come through, just pick up the phone, give them a call, shoot them your Homely profile link. It's just making people feel like they're engaging with you on a different level, because it is a little bit difficult to get people through and see people face to face at the moment. So by showing them your profile, it feels like they are being able to interact with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I haven't found it too hard, I don't suppose, but just making sure that you get back to all inquiry. And that's the main thing, yeah.
Power of communication, also SEO, your search engine optimization, and making sure that you're ranking really high in Google, which you can achieve through the Homely site very quickly and very efficiently.
Yeah.
Monique, thank you. That's great. Thank you so much for giving us some time today. Lots of gold in there, and we wish you the best for these coming months. No doubt it's going to be very, very busy down there at Jellis Craig, but thank you so much for giving us some time today.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thanks, Monique. Cheers.
Yeah, bye.